Hi, welcome to this Excel tutorial video. Today we're going to look at functions, an introduction to functions. This video was recorded in July 2021 using Excel 365. So a function is, it's available in Excel and it's a pre-created set of commands that perform a particular action. And there's lots and lots and lots of functions. So if I give you an example of a function, let's say I've got the days of the week on the left hand side here in column A, and in column B I want to return how many letters are in column A. So there's a function called len, and if I want to write a function, I put equals and then I type the function, and it's called len, and then you put a bracket, and depending on the type of function you give it one or more values called parameters. And in this case I want to know the length of a field. So in the brackets, I need to give it the field I want to know the length of. And in this case, it is field A1, end brackets, and the len function looks here and returns 6 because there are 6 characters in the word Monday. And if I drag this down, 7 in Tuesday, 9 in Wednesday, well, as you can see. So a function is something that performs an action for you. Rather than you having to write something yourself that works out how many characters, this function called len already exists and you can call it and it'll do a job for you just by calling it. And there's loads and loads and loads of functions in Excel, and as Excel kind of changes and you get different versions, more and more functions become available, and you can write your own functions as well. As this is an introduction to functions, let's just go from kind of the beginning of maybe trying to find a function. So I'm going to go into this cell here. If I come up here into the formula bar and I put my cursor in here, if I want to write a function, I've got to begin it with an equals. However, I can click on this little FX button here, and if I click on that, it will bring up the insert function box. And this box lists all the functions available to you. So let's imagine you have an idea of what function you want to search for. So maybe you want to search for a function that joins pieces of text together, so concatenates. So we'll just do a search for the word concat and we'll press go. And in the results box here, we've got a function called concat, a function called concatenate, and a function called text join that has concatenate in its description. Okay, so each of these here, they've got a unique identifying name, and then underneath you've got that little description that kind of tells you what it's used for. Maybe you don't know what it's called, but you're searching for something that will do something for you with regards to dates. So in this drop down here, we've got categories, and one of them is a date and time. So we can come to here and we can look at all of the functions, and we can go down here and think, I wonder what year does. We can click on that and it will tell you what year does here. Or maybe you want to do something like, wonder what that is. It'll in the description below, it'll tell you what the function is going to do. Maybe we'll go to text. So we've got a lot more here, text functions, including the one we've just been using as an example called len. So when you're looking at functions, you start with the function name, then you start with a bracket, and then depending on the function, it'll have one or more parameters. In this case, it wanted some text. It returns the number of characters in a piece of text. So let us then imagine that instead of len, let us in this cell choose left. So we click on left. Left returns the specified number of characters from the start of a piece of text. If we look in the brackets here, there's actually 2 parameters separated by a comma, the piece of text and the amount of characters to return. That kind of makes sense when you look at the description. So let's kind of use this insert function box. So we found left. If we click OK, it now brings us up this new box and says, right, I'm going to help you write this function. First of all, give me a piece of text. Now we can put any words in there we want to, but ideally you would want to give it something that's within your Excel sheet. And in this case, the piece of text I want to look at is in cell A1. And when I put A1 there, you'll notice it's brought Monday here because that is in cell A1. And if I did cell A3, it'd bring back Wednesday. And by default, it looks like it'll return only one piece of text, which is a W there, because if I change this to be, say, 4, it'll show you in the current example that we've got above what the result's going to be. So I want to change that back to 1. The first 4 characters of Monday is Mon. And when we're happy that this is what we want, we can click OK, and there it is. And we can drag it down here. Yeah. And actually, no, let's change that. If we want to, we can go back in here and change that to 3, and we can copy that down here. So we can do as you please. So we've got len, we've got left, and we don't, like I showed you with len, we don't have to come into here if we don't want to. We can just type it here. So we can just type, it's got to begin with equals. We can type equals, right, click on A1. This, you can see here, it's got 2 parameters. It's got text and it's got numchars. So there's text, then we do a comma, and then following that, we need to put the amount of characters. If I hover over it, I think it gives some sort of tooltip. No, perhaps not. So I'll put 3 there as well, and I'll close that off. And then randomly enough, who would have thought it, the last 3 characters of each of these is day. So let's not have 3, let's have 4. Oops. So this is a really, really good way of searching and finding functions that maybe you don't know exist. And it's a really, really excellent kind of way of building a function. It'll help you build it. So in this case, with the find function, it needs 3 pieces of text. So we click on find, click OK, and it will assist you in building the find function. So when you've got your cursor in this top field here, it tells you what it wants here. The text you want to find, use double quotes to match the first character. And then if we click in here, it's the text containing the text that you want to find. And if we click here, it specifies the number of characters. So you see in each of these, it helps you build the function itself. So when you've started using functions, one last thing to kind of show you. If we go back up to here, if I just go to cell there, if we go to here and press equals, it might not have been obvious before, but this drop down here, before I put equals, it had the cell reference of E1 because that's where my cell is, that's where my cursor is. Since I press equals, this becomes a function drop down that shows you the most recent functions that you've been using. So that's quite nifty. We can go to here and just click on that. Saves us typing. I mean, it doesn't matter for len, but it could be quite a long function name. And in which case, we can come to here. We can find whatever we want to find, and we can start building it. I hope that was helpful as an introduction to functions. Any queries or comments, please leave them below and I'll answer them. Any feedback is always appreciated. Thanks very much for your time. See you next time.